everyone for attending the council meeting today, and we'll go ahead and get started. If I can have a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Tisdale, seconded by Mr. Lawrence. Discussion. All in favor? Motion passes. If the clerk would read the additions.
To the consent agenda, we're adding item 5CC, resolution to approve and authorize the lowest and best quote received for one vehicle in the total amount of $34,647.70 from the police budget. To the routine agenda, we are adding a docket of claims in the amount of $67,715.98.
Do I have a motion to approve the
So
agenda
moved.
as amended?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Tisdale. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Lawrence. All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. Mayor's report.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I have a couple of proclamations to read. This first one is a proclamation from Child Abuse Prevention Month. Is somebody here from? Yeah, thank you. Come on, please come up. Whereas this proclamation, children are vital to our success, the prosperity and quality of our life. Children are also the most vulnerable assets. Whereas all children deserve to have a safe, stable, nurturing homes and communities that need to foster their healthy growth and development. Whereas the Canopy South Mississippi Children's Advocacy Center has conducted more than 725 forensic interviews and provided 2,141 VOCA services to children who are sexually and or physically abused and children witnesses to violent crimes in 2021. Now, therefore, I, Andrew Fofo Gillich, Mayor of the City of Biloxi, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. So thank you very much. Thank you so much. Oh, please, one more photo.
Gotta go one more.
Our TV audience. Thank you so much. Ms. Hunt? Ms. Hunt Tripp, see they coming up? All right. The dynamic duo, let me read this.
Yeah, y'all knew I was coming today, because what'd you get? Thank you.
What did I name y'all? Name y'all Gemini twins in Mardi Gras?
Yes.
Okay. Whereas, pardon me, the City of Biloxi, Excel by 5, and other local organizations in conjunction with the National Association for the Education of Young Children are celebrating the Week of the Young Child, April 2 through 8, 2022. Whereas these organizations are working to improve early learning opportunities, including early literacy programs, that can be a foundation for learning for children in Biloxi. Whereas teachers and others who make a difference in the lives of young children in Biloxi deserve thanks and recognition. Whereas public policies that support early learning for all young children are crucial to the young children's future. Now, therefore, I, Andrew Fofo Gillich, Mayor of Biloxi, Mississippi, do hereby proclaim the week of April 2 through 8 as the Week of the Young Child. Thank you, Ms. Hunt. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she will say a few words.
I promise I won't talk long, unless you want me to. I want to say thank you so much for recognizing today. And I also want to say, usually we have a lot of our child care centers and our schools here to get certificates, but it's spring holidays. So a lot of them, they were not able to come. However,
this certificate of appreciation by the authority vested in me by the people of the City of Biloxi, Gulf Coast Center for Nonviolent Incredible Years Therapeutic Preschool is hereby awarded this certificate of appreciation and recognition for the excellence in education and making a difference in the lives of young children in Biloxi. Thank you for everything.
thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. You all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. And I think that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor. Any departmental reports I may have missed? There being none, we'll move on to council report. Mr. Lawrence?
Thank you. Hope everyone had a happy Easter. Died a lot of eggs, eat a lot of candy. You know, get a little weight on you. I went through Lent, lost too much weight. Got to put it back on now. Time to eat and drink again. We have. I want to thank all the people in consideration with Father Ryan, the Saint Street, the Holy Land, that y'all show up all these meetings. I want to thank y'all for coming. I know it's been tough for y'all. It's hard to get off work. And so I'm in favor of y'all coming, speaking your piece. I have 15 letters written here, so I need to put that into the record and have them all scanned and put in the record so to show that 15 people wrote letters against this project. When you have this many people showing up, it's time for us, the city, to step up and take care of the people. That's our job. That's what we're elected for. So thank you, please. Thank you.
Mr. Gines?
No report.
Ms. Newman? Mr. Tisdale?
Several things. I know when we approved the Coast Bench contract, there were revisions to the list. We modified that. There were some benches that were going to be removed. I think there are 3. They're still at the intersection of Pass Road and Eisenhower there. Also, on Pass Road in the westbound lane, right there before you enter Goose Point subdivision, against the curb, we installed a drain there probably 2 years ago, and all of that's shifted a little bit, and somebody's going to tear up the front end of their car right there. I know we haven't started prioritizing projects for the West Biloxi master plan yet, but I would hope that we would see some urgency in getting those projects prioritized so we can see what's going to be done and where. Let's see, how many, I know you referred to the number of job vacancies. The city's hiring.
Right.
We're looking for good folks. Do you know what the current count is as of today, Mayor?
Yeah, I think I am on. I think at the end of 21, I think we had 76 vacancies. I think I saw we have about 38 in police and about 18 in public works. So it's approaching 70 all told. And, the ones and twos in various departments, but that's there. We made a significant move in trying to be competitive with everyone. I know as far as the police and fire, we're very hopeful and we're recruiting. I think Chief Miller, I don't know if he's here, but we made a number of opportunities to recruit and as well as our fire department. So it's high on the list to fill those vacancies.
We're open, and I'd mentioned several weeks ago maybe a city job fair, even if it was just 2 hours on a Saturday. I think it'd be worthwhile to fill some of these positions. We just bumped up the pay a little bit. We have good benefits. We have an outstanding city council to work with.
Don't be silly.
But anyway, those are the only items I have today. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Barrett? Thank you. I have a couple of things. One is baseball. I know I've talked about baseball in a lot of my council reports over at A.J. Holloway Sportsplex, but this is Miguez Park. I took a little team over there to practice the other day, and we can do better. I don't know what the plan is for some of these other fields, and I'm remiss for not, asking for that information or reviewing it. But Miguez Park, it has good lighting at one of the parks. The other one is not in good shape, but we can do better. I was talking to a team that was there practicing before me, and they said they volunteered to donate some material, sand, dirt, whatever, and I haven't verified this yet, but I'm just going to include it in my report today. They said they couldn't do it. They couldn't accept donations from a private entity. So I'll try to find that person, connect them maybe with the director, and see maybe that's just some wires crossed there. But we got some wonderful Little League parks around the city, not just at A.J. Holloway Sportsplex, that just a little bit of effort, they could be more playable. The other thing I'd like to ask the administration, I know Mr. Tisdale mentioned one of the master plans. I would like for the administration to begin creating a master plan for North Bay, the North Bay Master Plan. If we could start working on that and just identifying some of the high priority items, that would be good to have it in a master plan format. Also on Hingen Lane, and listen, I ride my ward. I didn't realize Hingen Lane was a city road. I thought I had all of them covered and paved. That may change since the ward lines have moved up in North Woolmarket for Ward 6. But Hingen Lane is a city road. I'd like for us to look at what the cost would be to pave it and to provide water and sewer. They're all on well water over there, and there's a couple of properties that might be selling, and they'll have to dig their own well if they can't run a line to city water. And then last but not least, two more things. Actually, I'll get this out of the way. I do want to recognize one of a longtime city employees and servants, Vincent Creel, announced his retirement. We'll miss him. We certainly had the talent to try to replace him, and we're looking forward to those refreshing ideas and talent, but a long career serving Biloxi as the mouthpiece and trying to get the word out to the citizens as accurate as he possibly can. So kudos to Mr. Creel in his retirement. And then, Mr. Mayor, your State of the City address was really good today.
Thank you.
One of the things that was up on the screen that hit home to me, and I'm feeling it today with this crowd, is let Biloxi be Biloxi. And and that can mean a number of things. Hold your other applause. But no, seriously, in all seriousness, we got issues that affect all of us. The council members sit up here, and we go out every 4 years, and we ask for your vote. We ask for your support. We ask that you trust us to represent you, the people, and the businesses. But certainly, we're asking the people to vote for us to represent you. And you know, today, listening to the state of the city, and then coming here at the council meeting and seeing the preponderance of our citizens that are attending here, showing us your heart, is really important. And with that, I'll conclude the council report. We'll move on to the public agenda and citizens' comments. We have a total of 45 minutes allotted for this segment of our agenda. I will start, and each individual, by the way, has 3 minutes to talk on any subject that you would like. This is not a question and answer. This is a time for you to make your statement for us to hear what you have to say. So with that, I'll begin on my left, your right. I'll recognize the lady to my far left over here to come up and speak first. You would announce your name and your address and then begin speaking.
Stephanie Bond, 14121 Bird Road in Woolmarket, Biloxi. And I'm here to talk about the subdivision that's been proposed on Jim Bird Road. The plans for the subdivision are adequate for the subdivision, but they show no evidence that the developer is aware that 2 lots from me is a natural stream that comes out of the pumps through the entire thing. It adds much more water flow than what would be naturally coming out of the subdivision, which is planned a detention pond, but it does not talk about the stream. It says the stream will be unaffected. I don't see how it can be unaffected when you start adding all the flow that's going to come off of concrete into that same stream. And so I would say delay the vote until we get a plan that addresses the stream so that we know our ponds won't get backed up, sucked dry. We won't be back a year from now trying to sue somebody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, could you sign in, please?
Did you sign in?
Yes,
Okay. Anyone else on my left, your right, like to come up and speak? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Gilbert Ramsey, 19014 Peterson Road, Socia, Mississippi, 39574. As of March the 7th, I initially signed my BP contract, final draft, to enhancement recreation opportunities for physically impaired citizens. What I'm doing, I'm here to introduce an opportunity with y'all to introduce a non-government official public-private partnership program at Civic Center. I'd like to have a public hearing there to initiate this opportunity for our outreach within our community. What I have Yates Association with an individual there, environmental specialists. I have ROTC students. I have all students, USM, Mississippi State, included VA. I have this opportunity because I have another program I'm going to Washington with. I like to have it implemented appropriately at this time. I have a Mississippi MSET, Laura Jugan is helping me to put a program together, a PowerPoint presentation to initiate this opportunity. So I'm here to have this opportunity with y'all at the Civic Center to do a public hearing outreach to initiate this opportunity within our community because I have the funds. I'm coming at y'all with this opportunity because I see Deer Island, I see Ship Island, I see all this outreach, inland and outland. So we just built a park in D'Iberville on the river. I'm coming to initiate this with higher upstream and downstream and out in the Gulf for Gulf Island seashore. So I looked at this opportunity because I want a higher learning education included with this, in education, recreation, employment, and facilitating them appropriately. And I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. I've been working on this since 2013. I've been recognized for this opportunity for everybody's assistance. And here we go. Thank you much for your assistance. It's backwoodsflyingangels@gmail.com. And my name is Gilbert Ramsey. I'm from the city of D'Iberville since 1967. And I work for his aunt in Ben Oaks. So I'm telling you this for a reason. Everybody knows me. You have a blessed day. And I'm doing a memorial after Colonel Dick Wilson. It's after his wife's book she wrote called Tricky Dick's Tackle Box. Check it out. I love you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsey. Anyone else on my left? Mr. Marber?
Hello, my name is Victor Marver. I live at 1263 Father Ryan Avenue, and I am here to speak in opposition against the two hotels that are proposed west of White Avenue. I have a quick visual aid I'd like to pass out to help council members visualize the scale of what's being proposed. Those drawings are architectural cross-sections, and on the bottom there is the view from along Father Ryan Avenue, and that is my house in the center, Residence 2, it says. My comments are that, in the United States of America, and Biloxi is no exception to this, the largest single asset that families own is their home. And if this project is allowed to proceed, you will not only diminish the value of my home, but the value of the other homes in the neighborhood. You will also diminish the desirability of the neighborhood itself. And this is a neighborhood that has thrived for decades. People are still buying houses and redoing them as we speak, all to the benefit of the city of Biloxi. And look, I'm not opposed to Biloxi getting new hotels, but I don't think they should be located in a residential area. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marver.
Hello, my name is Ellen Nikovich, and I live at 1269 Father Ryan Avenue. You should have a small map in front of you, and it's a map of the residential block. Let me be clear. The entire proposal zoning amendment, PDHB, is opposed by the entire block. The block, with the exception of a commercial strip on land running down White Avenue. The Father Ryan block side consists of single-family residents. Gill, Marver, Nikovich, Lechner, Host, Scametti, and Hayes. We are all opposed. Next is the St. June side of the block, where we have Kavanaugh and the Brazier family. The Brazier family are new owners of the corner block. They are also opposed to this. They'll be using that particular property for family use. The next is Raintree condos. All of the tenants own their own condos. The next one is the Lechner Family Lot. It's an extension of the family on Father Ryan, and the family has bought the lot in the back for family use. All are opposed. There are no changes on the block except for a more stable environment for single-family, multifamily zone residents. There are no commercial businesses, hotels, from White Avenue to Miramore Avenue. Please do not destroy or sell out Biloxi, our neighborhoods, or our residents. Thank you. Let Biloxi be Biloxi.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Genzer. I live at 145 St. Jude Street. I've lived on St. Jude, which was when I moved in West 3rd for the last 40 years. I would like to say that as an architect, I have a great deal of respect for Dale and Associates, who are the architects that were given this project. My concern, overwhelming concern about this project is a parking lot that they have been forced to put on Father Ryan because there's not adequate space within the site that faces Highway 90. They are preparing to screen the parking lot with an 8-foot brick fence that will go to within 2 feet of the sidewalk. This will absolutely be a scar on Father Ryan in perpetuity. Now, I would like to ask each of the council members how they would feel if they lived in a highly restricted, established neighborhood, but there was a lot vacant to your home for someone to come in and put a parking lot in. I doubt very seriously if any of you all would be too excited. I would like to end by paraphrasing what the mayor said, and that is, let Father Ryan be Father Ryan. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else on my left? Anyone else on my left would like to speak?
Good afternoon. It's good to see you again. My name is Martha Hunt Tripp, and I live at 132 Jefferson Davis Avenue. I'm becoming famous. I've been here many times, not just for the children of Biloxi, but for my neighborhood. We are becoming a target for people that want to make our homes difficult to live in. We have a very good neighborhood. My neighborhood is from Ivoryville all the way to White Avenue. I went to Biloxi High School. I knew all the kids that lived in those houses, and now we have a wonderful group of people that have moved there and made their homes. This group of citizens have been to 4 meetings. We've been to every historic meeting. We went to every meeting that was done for the Planning Commission, and we listened to Mr. Blessy and the architects, they were all very nice, and Mr. Creel telling us that these 2 buildings are meeting the historic and city guidelines. After Katrina, several of these homeowners, including the Tripps, we rebuilt and we improved their properties and our properties. Many bought homes on Father Ryan and redid them. We did not abandon the Biloxi neighborhood. We were told to build back. We trusted our city officials who encouraged us to stay and rebuild. Now the city wants to place the Aqua Suites and the 6-story high Residence Inn property near the Father Ryan neighborhood. Some of this, there's 25 feet away from this Resident Inn is some of the property line. How would you like having a 6-story building looking down on you in your backyard? I can't imagine. Parking, which Mr. Genzer already talked about, I mean, being right there by all these people. These are neighbors who purchased homes, some many years ago and some just recently, assuming the property surrounding them would remain residential as it's zoned, not with a 6-story hotel or parking lot next to them. Granting this proposal will jeopardize the quiet neighborhood. You are the leaders. I've talked to you about this before. You are our protectors. We voted for you. Therefore, we're hoping and expecting you to protect this neighborhood. Being a lifelong citizen and a homeowner, please give this request some serious thought. My street has lots of new neighbors. I've gotten to know them. I love them. In fact, one of my new neighbors just purchased the property that used to be Sadler Beach Apartments. He's a new person into our neighborhood. He loves our neighborhood. He is going to either make that a community area where we can visit. He has seen the potential of Biloxi. He does not want something next to him like a hotel.
Ms. Tripp, I'm sorry, your time's up.
That's okay, that's good. I want to thank you again. I appreciate you listening to me, and I want you to know that I'm standing up for my neighbors that are living or right behind you.
Good afternoon. My name is Debbie Collins, and I live at 124 St. Paul Street in that same neighborhood, and we have been living there for 45 years. In regards to the proposed property, besides the fact that it doesn't fit into the nature of our neighborhood, which is quiet, peaceful, and historic, and in agreement with the folks that have spoken before me, I'd like to share a couple of thoughts with you. Does anyone here remember the proposed 7-Eleven on the Olive Garden property? I would like to know if the developers have been vetted by the city. Does the city have documentation in hand with absolute guarantee that the proposed Residence Inn will be a Residence Inn? What guarantee does the city or the citizens have that this won't be changed to a substandard brand? Secondly, we'd like to point out that millions of dollars have been invested in the city of Biloxi by individuals who did so by following the Land Development Ordinance and other rules and regulations on land which their needs were met without requesting or receiving special consideration, waivers, favors, and abandonment of the ordinances. This includes development of existing lodgings, including short-term rentals, identified and permitted by the City Planning and Development Department. This totals over 400 1-, 2-, and 3-bedroom properties which is 400% more rooms than the proposed 108 rooms for the Residence Inn. Granting waivers to competing properties is unfair to those investors, large and small, and is unwarranted in today's hotel room inventory. And to borrow our mayor's sentiment, let Biloxi be Biloxi, let our neighborhood be our neighborhood.
I'm Chuck Collins. I live at 124 St. Paul Street with the lady that just spoke. I've also lived there for 45 years. I'm here today to express my opposition to the zoning change which would allow the creation of a PDHD hospitality district. I'm a resident effective neighbor for 45 years, like I said. The applicant repeatedly and incorrectly states that the proposed change application that Hurricane Camille changed the character of the neighborhood. Try to tell that to many people who have built new houses or renovated old houses in that neighborhood. Or try to tell it to the new residents who've moved there from retirement from other communities because they liked their neighborhood, so much so that they bought a house, invested, remodeled them, added on to them, and so forth. This is going on all the time in our neighborhood. All of us did this with the expectation that the zoning, residential zoning would not change. You kind of assume that residential zoning is going to stay residential. These zoning designations were in place long before the developers conceived the idea of this hotel. If they wanted to do such a development, they should find a piece of property within the city that suits that situation. It's not our neighborhood. I was born and raised in Biloxi. I love this city. I've always thought that Biloxi sold itself short when seeking new development. I think we have always settled for less than what we could have gotten. Many cities bring in new business without sacrificing too much to the developers. Certainly we should not sacrifice a long-established neighborhood for a hotel. I respectfully ask that you deny the requested change to hospitality district and maintain the true character of our neighborhood.
My name is Michael Kavanaugh. I live at 134 St. Jude, and I'm going to really pay attention to that clock this time since I learned my lesson. I'm here for the summary. It's a hard act to follow because every one of these folks who got up and talked today, I think, made a very, very important points on why we need to oppose this development and why this development needs to be voted down. And you have everything from the impact of property values, parking lots next door to single-family residences, a 6-story hotel within 25 feet of Mrs. Nikovich's home, the expectation of privacy that she would have because she has fenced in her backyard, as Mr. Mavar has done, and certainly with a 6-story hotel that close to your home, you're not going to have any privacy, and that expectation is not going to be fulfilled. You also have the issue of security cameras as well. Will they be filming in their backyard, and will that be an invasion of privacy as well? As Frank talked about, the 8-foot-high concrete fence 2 feet from the sidewalk. That will ruin the streetscape of Father Ryan Avenue. It will basically create an island where the Gills, who live at the very end of the street on the right, will be cut off essentially from the rest of the neighborhood in terms of, the streetscape itself. Traffic and parking, you can only turn right outside of this proposed development. So folks who want to go east, more than likely will make the block, come up St. Jude, and go east on Father Ryan. So that will lead to additional traffic on that street and also other surrounding streets in the area. Parking, it's less than one per unit as the city planning, or as the city recommends. So there is no space for any sort of overflow parking. If they're 100% occupancy, there's no space for any of the people who work there to park. One of the solutions provided by the developer was to park in the grass. So, and that's on record and the Planning Commission's minutes. So I don't think that's a good solution, personally. Also, we have an issue with the emergency exit in the back. It is, Father Ryan is much too narrow there. It's only 15 feet wide. An aerial truck cannot get through there and into a 20-foot wide gate and be able to navigate. Also, finally, am I getting close? Oh, well, I'm going to skip that because we talked about the comprehensive plan and the present zoning. It not conforms, although the developer stated on the map amendment that it did conform. It does not conform to the comprehensive plan as published. And,
Sir, I'm sorry, your time is up.
and the neighborhood of character has not changed. And if everyone who is in opposition, would you please stand up so they will get an idea of who is in opposition? Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Jason Ryder, citizen of Biloxi. I just want to go on record as in opposition of this project for the reasons that everyone else has proposed already. There's numerous issues with this project, and I think the council should listen to the citizens and make their decisions accordingly. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Eva Torrance. I live on 132 St. Paul, right next to that wonderful couple, the Collins. I bought my house in September, and we're fixing it up. And it's a 105-year-old home. And when me and my husband found it, we were so excited because I've always wanted to live next to a beach. And I'm like that far from the beach, so we did pretty good. But when we bought, we thought, well, it's a residential neighborhood, and then this came up, and I met all the wonderful neighbors who are opposed to it. And I just think it's so wrong to put a residence in so close to that lady's house and that man's house. It's just wrong. It's not commercial property, and you know that, and giving special variances to the developer or whatever, this doesn't seem right to me. And I look forward to walking around the neighborhood with my grandchildren like my neighbor does. And it's a beautiful neighborhood, and this shouldn't happen. That's all I got to say.
Anyone else like to come up and speak? He's up there. Let's let him speak, and we'll continue.
My name is Lance Hack, 1234 Father Ryan. I don't currently live in Biloxi. However, I am a taxpayer here. I own 2.2 contiguous acres and 8 separately deeded parcels of land directly to the north of the White House. I bought the first parcels in 1993, so I've gotten to know the neighborhood well. In the 30 years that I've been here, I've always known the mayor and the city council to make pretty good decisions. That's why Biloxi is a nice place. You all should take credit for that. You put a lot into this city. The voters and the taxpayers in the Father Ryan neighborhood have also invested extraordinary amounts of time, effort, and money in order to make our neighborhood a special place. The Harrison County Lodging Development Project does not fit our neighborhood. I think y'all have heard all the reasons. Today, the voters and the taxpayers of the Father Ryan neighborhood ask the mayor and the city council to stand with us by voting down the Harrison County lodging development project. We need your help. Please stand with us. Thank you for your time.
We'll continue on my left, your right.
Good afternoon. My name is Phil Lechner. I live at 13240 Paradise Lane, now Ward 6, I've been told. I'm here to represent myself and my son, Jeff Lechner, who lives adjacent to this property. He's on the west side of it and 30 foot from the high rise. First of all, I'd like to agree with all my predecessors, everything they said. I'm totally for, stand behind them 100%. The other thing is, I'd like to throw a different angle or a different view, kind of leaning on what Mr. Glavin said earlier in the day here when he started off this meeting about the citizens. My son bought this property several years ago. It was new, and he spent a lot of money on this house. And since then, and by the way, the taxation on the house is up, like, you know, a lot of places are. But he went ahead and he added on to this, onto his home, like a lot of the other neighbors in this neighborhood has. And his taxes is going up. You go get a building permit, naturally your tax is going up. He added on to his home. He's added concrete driveways, his sidewalks, and even replaced the city's sidewalk that they came out there and destroyed. And also, he's built a fine shop, so his taxation's going up. Now, what happens if he gets his house appraised today, which is it's a seller's market, and then after this, if this project does go through, hopefully, and hope to God it don't, that what's his value of his house going to be then? And who's going to pay that difference? Who would pay that difference? You ever think about that? And the other thing is, on taxes, these people in here have been paying their fair share of taxes for umpteen years. What are we doing for them? Let's think about them a little bit, like Mr. Glavin said earlier. Let's talk about the voters and people that's made this city such great. And oh, by the way, the man that lived right across the street from my son, he would be rolling over today, former mayor, because he loved what he saw across the street in his neighborhood. And I don't think he would be happy. Thank you.
Anyone else on my left, your right? Anyone else? All right, we'll move to my right, your left. Anybody on this side of the room? Come on up.
David Wheeler, 185 Main Street. I'm here on three matters on your agenda. 4B, which is the first reading of the PBHB plan development. We've handed out to all the council members a hard copy of the PowerPoint presentation that was made to the Architectural Review Committee, and we have representatives here if you have any questions when that portion comes up on your agenda. I'm also here on the policy agenda 4F on the tax exemption request for the Biloxi LLC relating to the renovation of the old Wells Fargo building and the application for, that's on the consent agenda on X with the Main Street Biloxi application. If you have any questions on any of that, we'll be available to answer questions if you have them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Anyone else on this side? Would you like to come up? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Come up. We'll get you next.
Hello, my name is Peggy Hayes. I live at 1295 Father Ryan, so I'm kind of with this group, so I hope I'm not too late to discuss this. My husband and I are not long-term Biloxi residents. We've been here 2 years, and we hail from the land of snow. We've always wanted to live on the coast, And when we got our opportunity to do that, we actually looked from probably Fort Myer, Florida, all the way around over towards New Orleans. And Biloxi is like no other community that we drove through. When you're anywhere in Florida or Alabama, it's high-rise hotels. You can't see the water unless you cross between buildings. There's no residents. The local community doesn't thrive because with all the high-rise hotels and condos and stuff, the people that are staying there are tourists and summer people, and so the restaurants can't survive through the winter. And in Biloxi, y'all do such a beautiful job of making this community just wonderful, and I want to thank you all for that because it's beautiful. The beaches are beautiful. The community is just a wonderful, wonderful place to live. Excuse me. And so I just want to say that it impacts not just the people in the neighborhood, it impacts all the restaurants, because if they lose the local people, they lose the year-round festivities that go on for them. I'm fighting for the neighborhood, but I'm also
Thank you. Jeff?
Appreciate the opportunity to speak to you, Jeff Taylor. Good to see that Biloxi is full of traffic. Otherwise, great job. But there's certain philosophies that try to dictate where things go. The previous administration's plans, I have some in the area, that we've always tried to direct growth in areas of money. That whole philosophy began with former Mayor Gerald Lechner, where waterfronts, places like that were important. From those early days, we have tried to influence growth in certain areas and have not been successful. Oil spills, hurricanes, pandemics have always seemed to alter those. In fact, the very last thing we wanted to have happen, rather than build back here, requirements of growth happened so far out, we had to annex property. We couldn't figure out how to get it back. Development that proposed is good development, it's just we're incentivizing that by creating rules for a block. I would suggest that we try to figure out a way to incentivize projects like that. Other beachfront properties closer to them, closer to other western states, it would probably do just as well. And help the other businesses around. I would hope that we would give this a thought, try to come up with incentives that doesn't run off anything. That's what we need. Create more jobs than they actually take for themselves. So how do we turn this situation into one that's a win for not only the developer, where he can make a profit, but also the city where they don't destroy neighborhoods. And I know that's not what we're trying. So if there's a way to look at incentivize in such a way, it may help move things where we like.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Anyone else on my right, your left, like to come up and speak? All right, you're welcome. Anyone else would like to come up? Yes, ma'am. Do testing 1, 2, 3 or something like that.
You gotta speak close.
A little closer.
Closer?
It's on.
So testing 1, 2, 3 again? No? Okay. Hi, I'm Teresa Thompson. I live at 1506 Avalon. I live off of St. George, so I live in the Holy Land part, the middle part of the Holy Land. And I'm here to ask for your vote to deny the PDHB project to build 2 hotels in the Father Ryan neighborhood. The hotel is unnecessary and not beneficial to the city of Biloxi, especially in this neighborhood. Most importantly, I would like to address with you what is happening to these good citizens that's been standing up all day back here trying to tell you how they feel as they have been through this ordeal. Besides the physical and emotional stress felt by trying to determine how to save their homes, their safe, peaceful neighborhood, their quality of life, they have been required to suggest themselves to going to 4 different types of planning commission meetings in order to make their concerns known. The worst part is that they have expressed their valid concerns, but are basically ignored. It seems the citizens' rights do not outweigh invalid designs for use on the property, particularly with the use of a PDHB, which for everybody's understanding, it is a planned development hospitality business zone. And basically, as a planned development, everything within that area is now pretty much in this zone. It is by definition, from the book I read on the zoning, that the definition is intended to accommodate primarily larger scale, tourist-oriented development zoning. However, we're putting it in the neighborhood, and with that, it just basically overlays everything that's in that property line that they're now talking about and changes the rules. So the whole piece, it overlays the whole piece of property, so it does not have to comply with the number of regular ordinances that any other builder would have to deal with, such as infringement on established neighborhoods, setback rules, number of parking spaces, rooms per acre, environmental issues, traffic flow. The list goes on, but that's all. And any number of these would have stopped this project from the beginning. Instead, everything pointed out didn't matter because the overlay inappropriately allowed the infractions mentioned. As a property owner, I relate to the pain and frustration for these citizens that are in this room because this is my second time to go through this process. If property owners have to follow building ordinance, why is the city being allowed to disregard so many? The truth of the matter, this project should be a concern for all residential citizens in the city of Biloxi, no matter where they live. If this PDHB, which is an overlay zoning, can get approved in Father Ryan neighborhood, then it can get approved in any neighborhood in the city of Biloxi. That means that no neighborhood is safe from this rule.
Ms. Thompson, I'm sorry, your time is up.
Okay. I asked for you to deny it.
All right, do we have anyone else that would like to come up and speak? Anyone else? Anyone in the back of the room? All right, this segment of public comments is now closed. We'll move on to the policy agenda. Yeah.
Ordinance to amend Ordinance to amend Section 6-1-3 of the Code of Ordinances to redesignate polling places.
Do I have a motion to move it?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Guines, seconded by Mr. Tisdale. Mr. Guines?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with what I see in my community.
I'm sorry, first reading.
First reading,
First
yeah.
reading.
Could I say something there, Kenny?
What's that?
Could I say, I know there's be another reading coming up, but I don't agree with what's in there. So what do we need to have things changed? Can they table it?
It's a first reading, we can
I
make that,
understand, but
we
I'm
can
just
make a
saying,
motion to table at
I
the,
wanna put it sort of in this stuff, I want the thing to be written right to start with. So what I need to do, I know we don't have any lawyers here,
yeah.
to make sure it's right, good. Ward 1 should be at the Public Safety Center, is where they vote at. They had 436 people voted there last time, and only 99 in Brewer Center. So don't move it to the Brewer Center. You leave it at the Public Safety Center.
All due respect, Mr. Lawrence, it's been motioned and seconded. This is the first reading. At the next meeting, we can take up a motion to table it or modify it or whatever. And we'll listen to this. This is simply to move it. It's a first reading.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lawrence.
Ordinance to authorize a PD-HB plan development upon 3 parcels of land identified as 1252 and 1254 Beach Boulevard and 1257 Father Ryan Avenue.
I move to deny it on the first reading.
There's a motion to move to deny. Do we have a second? All right, the motion to deny fails.
I'm gonna move section B. I'm gonna move number B to section B for a public hearing.
All right, we have a motion for a public hearing. It's been seconded, moved by Mr. Guines, seconded by Ms. Newman.
And I'd like to make a quick statement regarding this.
Go ahead.
Not discussion, but a statement. I was going to second this, but until I visited this site yesterday morning with Mr. Kavanaugh and Mr. Marver, I was in favor of this project. But after putting my eyes on everything, there's certain aspects of this project that I absolutely cannot support. Having a hotel on the beach is one thing, which the Aqua Suites is, but putting a parking lot between 2 homes and a 6-story hotel basically in people's backyards is not something that I can support. The reason I'm supporting a public hearing is because instead of just killing the project, giving the opportunity to the developer to make some changes, eliminate some things, but in its current form, there's no way that I can support this project.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett. We have a motion for a public hearing. Do we want to schedule that for our May 1st meeting to allow the residents to attend?
Yes, and I also have some comments. It's not that we are for or opposed, but one of the gentlemen spoke earlier. We heard the residents. We heard everything that you guys said. We also want to hear also from developers, because we don't want to just send a message. Biloxi is not open for business. So it's about hearing everybody. One individual talked about having serious thoughts. You gave us a lot to think about, and we have a lot to think about. And the other thing is, we also have a council member that is missing, and it would be appropriate to have all council members present when we make any decision. Thank you. Mr. President.
I'm sorry. Good, continue. Is that it?
Yes, that's it.
Yes. I'm aware of the guidelines, publication guidelines, if that's where you're going.
Yes.
So here's what we're going to do, and Mr. Guines, you made the motion. I just want to make sure that you agree. There's a motion on the table for a public hearing. It's been duly seconded. We've had a little bit of discussion. We're going to move it to our first available 6 p.m. meeting. As long as it meets the publication guidelines, we have to publish it for public knowledge and all that kind of stuff. So it may be the May 3rd meeting, or it may be the subsequent one. So we'll make sure that gets out and that's published, so everybody be aware of when that meeting is going to be. Is that okay, Mr. Guines, to add that to it? Okay, all in favor of that?
We still have a discussion.
Yes.
Since everyone else did?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
I'd just like to say that our job is to do the right thing. It's to take in all facts about the project that comes before us. It's to take out all emotions, all fear of the unknowns, and just focus on the facts. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And we're not supposed to crumble under leadership because of fear of not getting reelected. So this is what we're going to do with a public hearing. We're going to take in all facts on both sides. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to make a comment? Mr. Lawrence?
I was just going to say one thing. I didn't propose a public hearing because y'all actually have been to 6 different meetings. So I was just trying to spare y'all of another meeting. But knowing y'all, you'll be at the next one and you'll be enforced. So,
With that, I'll call for the question for all those in favor. Those opposed? Motion carries.
Was that a 6-0 vote? Ken?
6-0 vote.
Okay.
Item C.
Ordinance to approve a zoning map amendment to authorize a change in zoning district classification, 2 parcels of land from their present zoning district classifications of A agriculture and RE residential estate to RS10.
Michelle, let's allow the room to clear. I think we're having problems hearing.
Tell us, speak up a little louder.
hey, can you take about a minute break?
Okay. I know.
What's that?
Oh, yeah.
We're used to that. We're used to that kind of opposition.
There's no way.
Oh, yeah. Planning Commission put their friendships aside and voted for the right thing. AHRC did the same. Listen, even the tree committee approved it. I would have never thought.
It was Felix and Dixon. I don't think you need to say it as long as you have it recorded.
Here's the problem. We got a 5-minute recess.
Michelle. Your thing's coming up, man. The Jim Bird coming up.
I'll tell you who they are. For item C, the motion is made by Barrett and Guines.
For C?
Yeah, for 4C.
Okay, let's see if we get rid of this other stuff now.
These are the ones coming up, right? We're going to read, okay? Is that it? EFG? Okay. All right, very good.
See what we have to deal with?
I give him another minute and then
I'm just asking who wants to do that.
All righty, El Presidente.
Mr. Barrett, we're waiting for Mr. Barrett.
Oh, we're waiting on Mr. Barrett. Yeah. I don't know if he's coming back or not.
He may have got caught in the hallway. I don't know.
Yeah.
Katie? Hey, Katie.
The name of the game? Those are the people that you got to take care of. Those are the people.
Jason. Katie. Katie. Can we close the doors? Okay.
But in fairness, he put a wall around his house. Victor put a big gigantic 6-foot wall around his house. You got a chain wall.
Oh. Well, isn't that about how many New Yorks you have? New York City?
Oh, yeah.
my understanding is that he did.
Yeah.
Jim Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I asked Kenny and he said it was 6.
Yeah. There you go. He finally showed up.
He escaped. All right. All right, we'll go ahead and continue. If the clerk will go ahead and read item C.
Ordinance to approve a zoning map amendment to authorize a change in zoning classification for 2 parcels of land presently identified as 2 unaddressed parcels fronting Jim Bird Road.
All right, this is a second reading. It was moved by Mr. Barrett and Mr. Gines. Mr. Barrett?
Yes, the lady who spoke earlier, I didn't get your name. If after the meeting, Mr. Stifle, if the 3 of us could sit down and, or get together and talk, and, if we don't have enough time, set a time to meet, to discuss and work through whatever we need to, to clarify or clear up anything on this.
All right.
You want to table it?
Mr. Gines?
Okay, Mr. Barrett, I know it's in your ward. You want to table it, or you want to just go ahead and,
Well, let me-
or are you guys going to work out the details?
Mr. Stifle, would you be okay for tabling it till next week so we can discuss with her? Are you okay? Yeah, just 1 week, just so we can have the discussion with her. Is that okay? All right, I'll make a motion to table it until next week.
Okay, I'll second it.
All right, there's a motion to table it for 1 week by Mr. Barrett, second by Mr. Gines. Any other discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0. All right, if you could read item D.
Ordinance to amend ordinance number 2354 pertaining to section 23-6-13 N1 relating to temporary sign permits.
This was moved by Mr. Deming and Ms. Newman. There is still a question on some language, so the chair would entertain, unless we want to go forward with it, to table it also for 1 week.
Not to.
They are not, I spoke with Mr. Deming, and he read the changes, and he said they're not fully accurate on what he was trying to convey, so he asked for consideration to table it for 1 week.
We table it.
All
I'll
right,
make
is
that
that a motion,
motion.
Ms. Newman? Yes. All right. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
All right, we have a motion to table for 1 week by Ms. Newman, seconded by Mr. Lawrence. Any other discussion? All in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0. The resolutions,
Resolution to grant preliminary subdivision plat approval for a 59-lot single-family residential subdivision for property presently identified as 2 unaddressed parcels fronting upon Jim Bird Road.
Is this tied into the other one, Nathan?
Yeah, you'll have to table this one too.
We'll table this until, I'll make a motion to table this until
I'll second.
next week as well.
all right. We have a motion to table by Mr. Barrett, seconded by Mr. Gines. Any additional discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Item F.
Resolution granting tax exemption pursuant to an application filed by the Biloxi LLC.
All right, I just want to let everybody know I'm not going to entertain a motion to table.
Okay.
So do I have a motion?
I'll move that. I'll move that. That's the old Wells Fargo with great location.
All right, moved by Mr. Gines, seconded by Ms. Newman. Any discussion? All in
Great
favor?
opportunity for downtown.
Did they settle on a price?
Yeah, I have some discussion.
All right,
yeah.
we have some discussion. Mr. Gines, do you have any discussion?
No, they've settled on it, and it's a great location, great opportunity, and it's also going to help
All right,
expand our downtown area.
Ms. Newman? Okay.
I would just ask, what was the number? Is it 50/50 or 5 years, 50%?
50/50.
Huh?
50/50. I think it's 50/50.
50/50.
50/50.
Mr. Tisdale?
Yeah, my comment on this is I appreciate the developer applying for the exemption on the front end of this. Quite often, we have these just prior to ribbon cuttings and certificates of occupancy and everything, and I would love to see it done as a matter of procedure in order to move forward, that these exemptions, abatements, whatever, be applied for on the front end right off the bat. I just really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Barrett?
Mr. Spinner, thanks for investing in Biloxi. You have two great projects in Ocean Springs and Gulfport, and we're looking forward to what you're doing here.
All right, thank you. Call for the question. All in favor? Those opposed? It was 6-0. All right, consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I moved it.
I'll second it.
Who moved it?
I moved it.
All right, Mr. Lawrence moved it. Mr. Tisdale seconded it. All in favor or for discussion? Mr. Lawrence?
On A, Mayor, we have another appointed deputy clerk.
Yeah,
How many? I mean, these are people already work with us.
This is front desk.
I mean, we do this once a week.
Yeah, we've had quite a few leave. We have, some more coming in, retiring or leaving for other jobs. So when a new one comes in, we have to get them certified so that they can swear to affidavits. And
So we just,
the public comes in, they can swear. They're both police department employees.
okay. Thank you.
Is that it?
No,
Oh, okay. I tried.
you think so? I noticed there, y'all said, I told y'all last time we had the child, a dog, Tyson, that lives on the side of me. I saw you buying a new one for $17,000. These dogs are pretty expensive. I'd have to be nicer to Tyson, I believe. $17,000 is pretty good.
Good dog.
What else we got in there? This was a mayor on Camp Wilkes. We doing the plumbing. We don't own that building, do we?
I think
It said we're doing $28,000 worth of plumbing for the public works
total 28.
for Camp Wilkes.
This is L. Is it Larry?
That's L. Do we own that building? It's our building?
I'm not sure, Mike. That's the road, I think.
Maybe.
It would have to be,
Yeah.
be on the private property.
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, Mike,
You want me
can
to-
answer that question.
Kenny? We just,
It's on the road, Councilman. It's
Say
a
again?
repair on Camp Wilkes Road.
On the road.
say that again? I missed that.
Repair to the road on Camp Wilkes Road.
Plumbing on Camp Wilkes Road, not Camp Wilkes itself.
Oh, okay. The sewer, all right. I didn't see that road on there. Still don't see it. But anyway, that's okay. So it's on the road, that's fine. That's our road. And on R, accepting a top bid, bottom two top construction company. And what is, it just said we're repairing a new area, where we are, what we repairing. That's R. And the need arises, it said. So we just hiring a contract?
Oh, yeah, okay. I think this is a contract for doing necessary repairs as called. I think that's what we think.
That's what it looks like.
Just like a paving, a contract service, allocating the rate to do repairs as necessary.
So we have funded this,
Yeah,
and we put how much money into this?
well, I'm sure it's all part of the contractual services budget. I can't answer that totally, but I would assume. Because there's no ask for a budget amendment. This is a contract approval.
Somebody had one more, no. Oh, yeah, this was always my favorite, on the tri-party agreement on X. Is this a time or money extension?
That's David Wheeler, that's one of the.
This is Main Street.
This is, as far as the Main Street grant, that's what we're talking about, right?
Sometimes it's just extended time, or is this a money? Which one is it?
David Wheeler, do you want to address the grant, the Main Street grant?
Main Street grant.
Main Street grant. The Main Street
Question with the
grant.
street, tri-party agreement for Main Street.
Yes. What's the question?
It's X. You got the resolution in front of you?
Mr. Lawrence wants to know what this is all about, this grant. What is?
You talking about the Main Street grant? That's a facade grant. Mr. Spinner's gonna put, every unit in the building, it's gonna be 15 short-term rental units. Every unit will have a balcony or a courtyard attached to it on the exterior. So that's what the grant is about.
This is Josette's?
40, I think.
What is this?
40,000.
At
Wells Fargo?
the Wells Fargo building.
Fargo.
Outside renovations.
Outside renovations to the building. That's what the exterior grant's for.
Okay, so this jumping in the tax break we gave, this is something else from Main Street.
Yeah, this is through Main Street. This is the
Facade.
sales tax, the sales tax grant money.
The facade
It's
grant.
capped at $25,000.
This is similar to what we did for Machada Patana.
Exactly, same thing.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
It's all for exterior improvements to the building.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Anything else, Mr. Lawrence?
That's it.
That's it. Mr. Tisdale?
Actually, not a thing.
All right, I'll move down. Mr. Guines?
Not a thing.
Ms. Newman? Mr. Barrett?
None.
I have none either. So that with that being said, do we vote for, we got a second, and it's been duly motioned, so all in favor? Consent agenda? Any exceptions? No exceptions, so it's approved on a 6-0 vote with no exceptions.
That's the question.
Move on to open up code enforcement hearings.
Okay. Item A on the agenda, Ancillary Capital LLC, 218 Raynor Street. This property is still in violation.
Jerry?
We gave them 30 days, and the down trees are still there.
There being no one, this case is closed.
Item B, John B. and Linda Dawn Coran Bankston, 2130 Floyd Drive. This property is still in violation.
All right, is there anyone here to speak on behalf of John B. and Linda Bankston? There being none, this case is closed.
Item C, Mary P. Sweatman Estate, care of Brady A. Sweatman. This case has been resolved.
All right, that code enforcement is now closed. Routine agenda, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Lawrence, second by Mr. Tisdale. Mr.
Well, money time. Ching-a-ching.
Good afternoon, council. Currently, we have 490,000 in the queue to be sent to the city of Biloxi for our accounts. It's a little bit lower right now because we had a shortened pay period for one of our contractors to try to get them to hit the docket timing correctly. But MEMA and the Horn Group is well aware of our advanced funding for the next project, and that should be coming shortly right behind. So right now, we're doing very well, 60 days in advance.
We still stand even above, right?
Yes, sir, 60 days in advance.
As long as we keep getting the nickels in, that's good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Tisdale?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Guines?
I'd like to ask the mayor one question on the $11 million. The section 3 to 11 million, they got the court system listed in there. What did we do something new in the court? It's for payroll, fringes, property taxes, but they said the court. So what happened with the court that we had to put this in? That's a lot of money, 11,831,000.
That's the one for the distribution of gaming revenue, I think. is a distribution, of tax collected. The distribution of the taxes that were collected that we've been holding on a monthly deal. That's the taxes collected and fringes and so forth for the gaming, the distribution to the vendors for the gaming and other taxes collected.
Okay. All right. Mr. Gines? Ms. Newman? Mr. Barrett? I have nothing. All in favor of the consent? Those opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Motion to recess?
So moved.
Or adjourn, excuse me.
Recess, you're right. So moved.
Recess. Mr. Tisdale, who seconded it?
I did.
Mr. Lawrence, all in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, I'm sorry, Kenny, I got all
You good?
excited.
You good?